Hello everyone, Geezer Tony here once again with another fun and informative golf video. I recently had a comment on one of my other videos where the person was dissatisfied about me showing the setup for impact swing because all the levels were flat and the lies were in the fairway, which basically I was just showing the swing. But he had a point. So today I'm going to do some specialty shots. We're going to do one with the ball above our feet, one with the ball below our feet, severe uphill and severe downhill lies. We may also do a fairway bunker shot, which I had with another request. So let's get started here with a ball above our feet lie. I don't know if the camera shows you this very well, but this ball is substantially above my feet, enough that I need to do something to compensate for it. So what is the first thing I do? I want to tell you first that the longer the shot or the less lofted club you use, the less effect this heel is going to have with the ball above your feet or making the ball go left. The closer you are and the more loft you have on your club, the more it's going to affect the shot. So I've picked a 125-yard shot, and I've got my longer gap wedge here to help see the effect of this heel and what it does to the shot. So what are the first things that I do? I do not change my grip. I personally do not choke up on the club. Some people do, and they say that helps them. I like to not choke up on my club on any shot when possible because it changes the value of the shot. So it's another variable. Oh, well, I've choked up, it's not going to go as far. So I've got to take that into account too. And this can be done without choking up on your club. You simply just step a little bit farther away than you know, until it's comfortable. So we're still going to use our same setup for impact setup. The difference is I don't try to do anything to counteract this going left. I just allow for it. So you have to kind of judge how much left is it going to go. So it depends on how much above your feet the ball is. Of course, the more the ball is going to go left. So we have to kind of judge the heel, and it's something you'll need to, if you don't have somewhere to practice it, when you're on the course, you'll start learning. All I do is aim right and try to hit it to the spot that I'm aiming at. I don't want to aim right and then swing toward the flag because that'll make it go left anyway. So what we want to do is aim right and let it do what it's going to do, not fight it. With this degree of heel and the ball being above my feet, and with this club, I'm going to estimate that I need to aim about 15 yards right of the flag and literally try to hit it there. It should come left. So I've got a divot here where I tried one and I didn't hit it very well because I stepped over here and started talking without hitting any shot. Let's try this again, see if we can actually get the ball on the club face. We're going to aim right of the flag and literally try to hit it there. And I see it's going directly at the flag. Well, it's about 4 feet right of the flag, but I didn't do anything to make it go over there. I just simply allowed for the loft of the club, which is turned this way, makes the ball want to go more left. Let's try that one more time. Stand comfortably, a little farther away than usual if you don't choke up. And I'm not saying don't choke up. If that's what you do, then do that. We're going to aim a little right, and we're going to literally try to hit it to the right. And again, this one's about 6 feet right of the hole, so pretty good. So now let's move on to a ball below our feet, which we'll need to move to a new position. And I also wanted to mention that yesterday we had 8 to 9 inches of rain, well, from the night before and all day yesterday. It was a potential hurricane that never did get enough wind, but it dumped a lot of rain here. So you're going to see probably some big divots on some of these shots. And as a matter of fact, this back nine is closed today is the reason I can come out here and make this video. So now let's talk about hitting a shot with a ball well below your feet. I'm over on the side of a tee, and you know how they slope down, so this is pretty severe. Again, I'm not sure how the camera shows it, how the camera sees it, but it's pretty severe. So what do I do here? Well, on the other shot, I stood farther away. This is more of a trouble shot for me, being a tall guy. It's harder for me to get down to the ball when it's below my feet. So obviously, I'm going to bring it in closer to me and bend a little more from the waist, just to make proper impact with the ball. The book says that these shots will go right on you, and everything makes sense because the club is leaning, the loft is leaning that way, and it should. However, in my golf life, my experience, this is just me, these balls don't really go right very much. I'm not sure. I have a theory that when the heel's like this and you're swinging, that the club hits, the heel of the club hits the ground first and kind of squares it back up. But that's just my theory. I don't know. All I'm going by is what results I've had. So in this case, I'm really not going to aim it a lot to the left, maybe just a little. I hit a practice shot, and you can see that ball on the green, and that's pretty much where I aimed it. So let's try that again. We're going to take our normal grip stance. I'm going to get much closer to the ball and bend a little more from the waist, just so that I won't scuff it or blade it because it's so far below my feet. Other than that, we're just going to take a normal swing, and I'm going to aim between that ball and the flag stick. See what happens. And that's pretty much exactly where it's going. Yeah. So you will need to experiment with this and find out if your ball goes to the right much or not. Mine just never has. And this is a gap wedge again, so if it were going to go right, this would be enough loft that it would affect it more greatly than, say, a 4-iron or whatever. So let's try it one more time. Standard setup, grip, get a little closer to the ball. I pretty much aim it where I want it to go on this, or maybe just a hair left. Okay, so you could see on that one I had a little trouble getting down to it, and I kind of thinned it. Not a total bladed, but it wasn't pure on the face. It's still on the green, and it's pretty much just barely left of where I aimed it. We'll do this one more time. Then closer to the ball. Stock setup. Another good shot right on the green. Those are a little left, which, you know, the book says that these balls would go right. And this is why I have found that I don't want to allow for it, because I just feel like the heel of the club hits the ground first and turns the club over, for me anyway. So when I do these instructionals, I'm telling you how I do it and what works for me. There are hundreds of instructors out there telling you other things, and whatever works for you is great. So I'm just explaining to you how I do it. And you've seen my videos, you see how I play, it works pretty well. So now let's move on to a severe uphill lie. Okay, so here we are on a very uphill slope. I look through that camera and you can't really see it, but I hope the other camera will show you just how much it is. I'm gonna say it's probably close to 25–30% uphill. So what do I do here? There's a couple of things before you even think about hitting the shot that you need to understand. Well, there's two different things. One is not this circumstance, but let's say you're hitting to a green that's uphill, but you have a flat level lie. Of course you need more club, because the ball isn't going to go forward as it comes down. It's going to go up and come down a little bit and stop and lose that forward yardage that it would have got coming back down to, even with where you hit from. So that's one thing. That would probably add a club, depending on how high the hill was that you're hitting to. However, If you're also hitting to an uphill target and you have an uphill lie, that's going to make the angle of your shot even worse. If you hit off of flat ground and your angle is like this, if you just change this without changing the angle, change the lie, you can see that the ball's going straighter up, so that it's going to go even shorter than it would have off the flat lie. So a lot of times you need 2 more clubs instead of 1. I hope that makes sense to you, because instead of having a flight like this, you're going to have a flight like this. It's going to go higher and shorter on the ground, if this were the ground here. So, how do I play the shot? Pretty simple, really. I want to take a practice motion, a practice swing, and I want to make it a useful, realistic practice swing. I don't want to just go up here and just not take my stance and switch the club around, and you know, I want to feel what the shot is going to feel like. I want to feel the resistance of the ground. I want to see where is the club wanting to hit the ground at, and then we're going to place the ball according to what the club is showing us on the practice swing. So I'm going to hit out there past that flag up toward that tee. I'll put a mark on the screen so you can see where we're going. But I've got a little more club here. I've got a 9, and we're just going to hit it out there, and we're going to play the ball generally more toward the high foot, either downhill or uphill. We want to play it more toward the high foot. Why is that? That's because that's where the club wants to hit the ground. You know, if you set yourself somewhat with the slope, you can't get perpendicular with it, but you can sit not necessarily straight up. If I sit straight up, I'm going to swing into the hill, take a huge divot, and maybe not be able to follow through. So I want to kind of set myself up with the slope and play the ball off my higher foot. As I said, probably 2 clubs extra. So this 9 will probably go the distance of what my gap wedge would go. So let's see how this works here. Very solid, very high. Nice. Now you can see that the ball was here and I took the divot ahead. If I played the ball in its normal position, I would probably hit a little farther back, and the swing arc would be parallel to the universe rather than to the hill. So let's try that one more time. Normal stance, normal setup, normal grip. Take a real stance. Make at least a half practice swing. You don't have to stand there and make a full swing, but you're gathering information here. You're saying, where's the club going to hit the ground? What's the grass going to, I mean, we're in the rough here. What's the grass going to feel like? How much resistance does it have? Then we step up to the ball and we just execute that swing. Okay, one more time. Now, we older players have a third or another factor here, and that's our balance. We don't have the same balance as a younger person does, so we want to make sure that we don't fall away, because it's easy to lose that balance. So we're going to take a little bit more of a moderate swing rather than going at it all full. That's another reason we take 2 clubs. We got to keep our balance. One more shot. Another good one. So rather than fight the elements or the conditions, go along with them. Whatever they want to dictate you to do, just go ahead and do it, and make up the difference in your club selection and your ball position and so forth. So now let's move on to a severe downhill lie. Okay, here we are with a severe downhill lie. This camera probably can't see it. I think that one can. And this is pretty severe. So, what do we do? Well, as I said on the uphill lie, we've got to play the ball closer to our high foot. I usually take a little bit wider a stance because of the hill. We don't want to lose our balance. I don't do anything to help the ball go higher. So quite often, this club will go a little farther than it should because it's going to be lower and it's going to bound more. I don't fight it, I just go with it. So in effect, if I had a pitching wedge shot to a green off of the lie like this, I'd probably use a gap wedge and just hit it. So we're gonna set up like we always do. We're gonna play this ball up high, and again, we want to take a practice swing, and we want to feel our follow through behind the ball going down to meet the ground. Most people try to go and help it up, and you'll hit the ground back here, or if you miss it, you will blade the ball. You've got to hit it as though you're standing here and hitting it on a level ground to make good impact. Again, take your practice swing, feel where the club's wanting to hit the ground, place the ball in the correct position for that feel, and then we just got to hit it, and it's going to be low. So this is the same 9, and you see it just took off low. This is very severe, but it's better to hit it solidly and let it go low than it is to try to help it go in the air and scuff it into that ditch you see down there. So I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to move it a little more forward and see if I can get it a little bit higher. Yeah, so I got that one a little higher, and it actually went a little farther. But you can see, obviously, the divots are, again, on the correct side of the ball. I am not rocking back or swinging upward to help it. You've got to swing downward as though you were hitting on level ground. One more. So again, we've got to swing and let the part of our swing past the ball on the target side be lower than it was over here. Should not be coming up like this. It should be going down. There we go. So that's pretty much how we hit the severe downhill lie. And of course, if you've got a longer shot and you need to hit a 4 or a 5 iron and it's this severe, you're not going to be able to get that in the air. You're going to need to use a hybrid or a 5 wood or a 7 wood or something with a lot more loft. And you're just going to have to take what the shot gives you. There's no way you can dictate to this shot what it's going to do. You have to read what it's going to do and play your game accordingly. Now, I've already done in a previous series, short game series, I did chip shots and pitch shots off of uphill and downhill lies, and the same principles apply. The difference being it matters what the ball does when it hits the ground a lot more because we're trying to get close to the hole. So if you haven't seen that, go back and look at the series 1 of my short game series, video 1, and you'll see what I had to say about that. So now let's move on to a fairway shot out of deep rough with something more than just a short iron. And to be honest, they look way better on camera than they do right here. All these balls are, the top of the ball is below the top edge of the grass. You can see the ball, but it's really down and thick, and that's the way the Bermuda grass gets to be this time of year here in the South. So how do you hit out of it? Because there's so much resistance and you get so much grass between the club and the ball as it comes through. It wants to just gather it up, turn your club over, so forth. How do you hit out of it? Well, again, you have to take what that shot gives you. You can't force a 4 iron or a 5 iron even out of here. It just won't make enough good contact to get it in the air. So how I do it is I take a lot more loft than, I may not be able to hit the shot as far to the green as far as I want to the green, but you've got to hit a good shot out of here. So I'll take more loft. In this case, I've got a 7 iron, And that's about all I'm going to hit. And I will play it back in my stance some in order to hit a little more steeply down. I don't want to swing steeply. I just want to play it back. And you're so that it's hitting the ball in your swing arc a little bit earlier. That'll eliminate some of this grass resistance as we're coming through with a normal ball position. So I've got 100. I'm going to try to hit this ball 170 yards, which is what my 7-iron normally goes. It probably won't go that far. It's going to come out low, and a lot of it's going to be rolled. And as I said earlier, we had tons of rain last night, so it may not get much roll. But you can only do what the shot allows you to do. If this doesn't come out well, I've got to get more loft. So let's try this. We're going to play it rather than here near the middle. We're going to play it a little farther back so that we can hit down and avoid coming through so much grass. We are going to slightly open the face. Now, why is that? Because this grass likes to wrap around the hosel and turn it over as you swing. If you've ever hit a ball out of the rough and it went way left and you think, wow, what happened? That's what happened. The grass will wrap itself around the shaft and the hosel and give resistance, and the club will do this. So I am going to open it just a little, maybe this much, but I'm still going to aim or align where I want the ball to go. The club should turn over. We're going to swing and just make a good aggressive swing. And that ball came out low and hot. And I believe it would have rolled up onto the green had it not been 9 inches of rain last night. Let's try that again. Normal grip, alignment, set up. Play the ball a little back in the stance. Open the face just a bit. Swing a little bit more downward. And I think, you know, what that's telling me is that I don't have enough loft even to get out of here. This one was a little bit more buried than the other. That's what will happen if you don't have enough loft. So let me get another club. I'm gonna get the 8. So really, I did not miss-hit that ball. It's just there's so much grass there, it didn't let it come out the way it should. So we need a little more loft. Now, if you have a longer shot and you have a 7 wood or a 6 hybrid or something, you can probably get out with that. I don't carry any of those, so I have to use a more lofted iron. Okay, here we go. Got a little more loft here this time. Yeah, we got that one out pretty well. That's on the green also. So it's more about making good contact and sending the ball into the air and in the general direction of your target rather than hitting a perfect shot. Hey, it's a hard shot. We're not going to hit a great shot. We might get lucky and hit one, but it's about getting it out, getting it up around the green. So I hope that helps some of you with how to hit an approach shot out of some really deep rough. We had a request for how to hit a fairway bunker shot. Now, fortunately for me, my course doesn't have any fairway bunkers to speak of. There are a couple that are 40 or 50 yards away from the green, but none where you're going to hit a full mid-iron or something from. So we're going to hit from a greenside bunker back out into the fairway, which almost eliminates any lip. So I've still got about 2 feet of lip here, and I got up close to it to kind of simulate what a fairway bunker might be like. Also, with all the rain we had, the sand was hard packed, and that's much easier to hit off of, at least a full shot, than soft sand. So I worked it up real good, best I could, with the rake, and we're gonna try to do this. So, first thing about a fairway bunker shot is, again, this is how I do it. I'm not saying it's the way to do it. There are a lot of instructors teaching a lot of different things. This is how I do it. I do not try to pick the ball off the sand. It's too difficult. I'm not that good. Sometimes I can do it, and sometimes I blade it into the lip. I hit a normal golf shot, and I just make sure that I hit the ball first. It doesn't matter how much sand you hit after the ball is is hit and gone. So I do what I know how to do from off the ground, which is hit the ball first. Now I'm going to take a couple of extra measures to make sure that happens, because the number one thing you can't do out of a fairway bunker is hit behind the ball. It's going to go about 30 yards, and it happens sometimes. So, point number one, you have to take enough club to get over the lip. It doesn't matter how far away your target is. If you don't get over the lip, you're not going to get out of the bunker, or you might get lucky and it tumble out. So if you need to hit an 8-iron out of the bunker and the green is 180 yards away, and you say, well, that's not enough club, it doesn't matter. You got to hit what you can hit over the lip first. So my rule is I will select what I feel I can get over the lip, then I go back one more just to be sure. So in this situation, I felt like I could get a 7-iron over this lip, so I've got an 8, just for insurance. You got to play the shot that the course gives you. So the number one rule is you have to take enough loft to get over the lip. So I will determine what loft I need or what club I need, and then I'm going to take one less with more loft to make sure I get over the lip. Then the only thing different we're going to do, because I don't try to pick it off the sand, I try to hit ball first, is I will play it a hair back further in the stance to help ensure that I hit the ball first. So the club will be coming downwards. I don't worry about the club hitting the sand after it hits the ball, so I'm not trying to pick the ball, I'm trying to just hit a normal golf shot. So yeah, it'll be a little lower, and that's why we took one club more. We're going to try to hit it out towards those 2 pine trees. Like that. That's a pretty good shot out of a fairway bunker. Now again, that was about all I was going to get out of it. I think if I had played a 7, I'd have probably hit the lip. Matter of fact, we'll try that in a minute. Let's try this again. Now, if you have the experience, or you can make good impact with the ball, you can try to play it up a little farther, but you're risking hitting the sand back here. But I'm going to play this one up a little farther and just see if I can get it out a little better. Yeah, I got away with it, but can you see I'm still taking a divot? I'm not picking the ball. So really it's not that much different than a fairway shot. Now, if you're further back in the bunker and you're not too worried about the lip because you've got plenty of room to get the ball up, I would say this: determine what club you need to reach the green and hit one more, and take a more measured swing to make sure you hit the ball solidly and not with full effort. That's how I do it. It comes out a little lower, yeah, but it's usually very controlled. It usually goes on the green. Let's try this one more time. Very nice. So there's really not a lot to talk about in the fairway bunker other than making sure you have the correct club to clear the lip. Don't try to help it into the air. Don't try to pick it. Just hit a normal golf shot. Now I realize this sand isn't soft, but even in softer sand, if you hit the ball first, that's all that matters. You watch the guys on TV, some of them pick it, but a lot of them you see them hit that shot and the club will go down through the sand and the ball soars out. So it's just a regular golf shot. Just taking a couple extra precautions to make sure that you don't really mess up. So I hope this tip can help you out of this fairway bunkers. So I also had a request from one person about chipping up a tier or a level on the green and not running it up, but he wants to fly it up there so he won't have to deal with trying to calculate or guesstimate how much to bounce it, where to do all. He wants to fly it up there. So we don't have any 2-tier greens at our course, So I've simulated that situation as best I could. This could be if this were all mowed as green, or let's say from here up, it could be like a two-tier green. And he says there's greens are pretty firm. Our greens aren't that firm. So what I did to make up for that is I brought the flag way in close. So I've got 9 feet to land it there between the edge of the green and the alignment rod. I hope you can see that. Matter of fact, I think I'll put a golf club up against it. Okay, so now I've got my putter leaning up against it so we can see it better. And like I said, I have 9 feet from the edge of the green to that alignment rod. He wants to be able to chip his ball up or pitch it up and stop it that quick without having to bounce it up the tier. So let's just pretend all this from here on up is green and we've got a tier. How will we do this? Well, when I showed how to do a standard chip, which is hands ahead, go back, move the hips, make impact with your hands ahead. Keep your hands ahead, do not use the wrist. You've all seen that, I'm sure, or most of you, and if you've been watching my videos. So how are we going to make the ball go higher? Now, obviously we're going to use our most lofted club. Mine is a 56 degree. I don't carry a 60 at all. So if you have a 60, you would use that. Maybe open it a degree or two, not much. But with the 56, I'm going to open it about 4 or 5 degrees and make it into a 60 or a 62 or something. And how we do that is, first, we open the club. Then we take our normal grip. We don't want to take our grip and then just turn our hands open, because when we swing, they're going to tend to want to come back square. So we want to open the club to the angle that looks right to you. And usually it's the leading edge somewhere near the front of your foot. Most people tend to open this too much when they do it. It doesn't take much. It's from here to here is all you need. Okay, so we're going to open it. We're going to take our grip and our stance. Now, if I didn't do anything else and I hit it the way we teach, that ball would go out there to the right toward that tripod. So what do we need to do now? We don't want to swing in a different direction. We're just going to let it go to the right, and we're going to turn this way a little bit so that the club face is still pointed at the target, and we're going to swing in line with our feet with our hands still ahead of the ball. So when we hit it, we're not going to be like this. We're still going to be like this with the hands ahead. That's the key. And technically, you've probably heard this use the bounce thing. Well, that activates the bounce because when you open the club, you increase the amount of bounce on the bottom of your club. What does that do for you? It keeps the club from digging in. So we don't have to help it up. You can literally try to hit a little bit behind it, which is kind of what I do when I open the club face. We've got a little wet ground today, so it kind of doesn't want to bounce as easily, but we're going to execute this shot step by step. Set up, normal. Take your hands off and open the face a little bit and retake your grip. Shuffle around until your club face is pointed where you want the ball to go. And now you'll notice my feet are left. We're gonna swing in line with that with our hands ahead. Then all you have to do is practice how much swing you need to drop it where you want it. Okay, and it takes more than you think. So instead of doing this to try to get it there, we just want to take a nice even swing back and through and judge it like that. I could have taken just a little more swing, but that was pretty easy. It's just as easy as a standard chip. It just requires a little bit longer swing. So here we go through the process. Until you get good at just stepping up there and being in this position, you can go through these steps. Standard chip. Spin the face open a little bit, retake your grip. Come around to the left till your aim, till the club face is aimed, swing in line with your feet, with your hands ahead, take more backswing. And there we go. You see how quickly that stopped. Now on a firm green, it wouldn't stop quite that quickly, but today's golf balls don't spin as much as they did back when I was young, when we used the rubber band balata covered balls. You could stop one on a dime like this, but today's balls don't spin as much. They go a lot farther. So we have to use height, or the angle of descent, to stop the ball more quickly. We don't want to drop it in the fringe or it won't bounce on. So we've got to use height and make sure we get it there. So this time I've just stepped into the position. Easy as pie. It's no more difficult than a standard chip shot, the ones that I've shown you all how to do. One more time. I think all of those balls are inside of 3 feet. A couple of them are 1 foot. So I don't remember who asked for this, but I hope this helps you. Go out and practice a little bit. The keys are: don't swing toward the target, and take enough backswing that you don't have to try to accelerate and help the ball in the air. It'll pop up.